The first thing that hits you is the sound. Not gunfire, not explosions, but engines. Deep, heavy, metallic engines slicing through the cold air of northwest Europe. It's early 1945, somewhere near the Dutch-German border. The ground is slick from winter rain, mud clinging to every wheel and boot. The sky hangs low and gray. In the distance, German officers laugh, confident. Reports of British Cromwell tanks approaching have just arrived. Fast, yes, but lightly armored. Too fast to survive, one mutters. Another smirks. Against Panthers, they think this will be over quickly. They have no idea that speed is about to rewrite everything. The British armored columns advance. You can almost feel the tension building as they push forward. These are not random units. This is the British 11th Armored Division, seasoned by months of fighting from Normandy into the Low Countries. Their Cromwell tanks are not the heaviest, not the most feared, not the most powerful, but they are fast, extremely fast. And in war, speed can do what armor cannot. It can confuse, disrupt, and shatter the enemy before they even understand what is happening. The German officers, meanwhile, are too confident. By early 1945, the Wehrmacht still fields some of its deadliest tanks, including the Panther. Officially the Panzerkampfwagen V Panther, it has already proven lethal on the Eastern Front and in Normandy. Its frontal armor is thick, its 75mm KWK-42L, 70-gun powerful, precise at long range. Officers trust it. Many believe it superior to anything the Allies can bring, and when they hear about the Cromwell, they scoff. The Cromwell, officially the cruiser tank Mark 8, is known for speed, not strength. Its armor is thin, around 76mm at best on the front. Its 75mm gun, effective against most targets, struggles against the Panther's thick frontal armor. On paper, this should be a one-sided fight. The Germans assume the British will be cautious, slow, predictable. They are wrong. Just days earlier, on the 23rd of January, 1945, the Allied push toward the Rhine gains momentum. British forces advance through areas near the Maas River and toward the Reichswald forest. German defensive lines are pressured, but still dangerous. Small villages, crossroads, and narrow roads become fortified points. Panthers and anti-tank guns lie in wait, carefully concealed. The 11th Armored Division receives orders to exploit weaknesses, move fast, bypass strongholds, and sow chaos behind enemy positions. The doctrine has been refined since Normandy, where slow, direct attacks often caused heavy losses. Now, speed and surprise are paramount. This is where the Cromwell excels. Powered by the Rolls-Royce Meteor engine, derived from aircraft engines, it can reach 40 miles per hour on roads. Even off-road, it outpaces most tanks of the time. It accelerates quickly, turns sharply, responds faster than heavier tanks like the Panther. Inside one, Cromwell sits Trooper James Carter, a young tank crewman, seasoned since D-Day. He knows the tank's strengths. He knows its weaknesses. Its armor will not save him from a direct Panther hit. Survival depends on constant motion. As the column advances through narrow roads lined with trees and villages, crews remain alert. German tanks could be anywhere. Every bend feels dangerous, every shadow a potential threat. Orders are clear. Keep moving. The cold metal hull shivers in the frigid air. Inside, it smells of oil, sweat, and cordite from prior battles. Radios crackle with tense, clipped messages. Units report contacts, some resistance. The tone remains steady. No panic, just motion. Ahead, German Panther crews prepare defenses. One, commanded by Oberleutnant Karl Pfizer of the 9th Panzer Division, is experienced, disciplined, confident. His Panther sits near a crossroads outside a village, partially hidden behind buildings and trees, with a clear line of fire down the main road. It's a perfect ambush position. Pfizer has heard of the British advance. Expects fast tanks, likely Cromwells. He is unbothered, dismissive even. This should be routine. Let them come. Let them drive straight into his sights. His gunner adjusts optics. The loader readies a round. The crew works like clockwork, as they have done countless times. But what happens next defies expectations. The first British tanks do not slow. They do not creep forward cautiously. They come fast, faster than he anticipates. Instead of tight formations, they spread unpredictably. Some stay on the road, others cut across fields. Engines roar, tracks tear through mud and grass. Pfizer watches, confused. This is not what he expected. The first Cromwell appears. A perfect target. The Panther fires. The round strikes through the thinner armor as expected. Smoke rises. For a moment, German confidence seems justified. But before Pfizer can realign or fire again, the rest of the Cromwells do something unexpected. They accelerate, scatter. Some veer sharply behind buildings. Others push across open ground at full speed, zigzagging. Some fire while moving, not to destroy, but to suppress and confuse. The speed is overwhelming. Targets that were easy to line up seconds ago now move too quickly, too unpredictably. Pfizer's frustration grows. Every shot becomes harder. The Cromwells turn the battlefield into chaos. Terrain is exploited. Hills, hedgerows, buildings provide cover. Cromwells slip in and out of sight, appearing at new angles. They are no longer just targets. They become hunters. Trooper Carter grips his position as the tank bounces over uneven ground. The driver pushes the engine hard. The tank shakes but keeps moving. Enemy fire cracks behind them. One tank is hit, yet the column does not stop. The commander shouts orders over the intercom. Flank right, do not bunch up. This is the tactic. Not to engage head-on with superior armor, but to outmaneuver, outpace, and outthink the enemy. Within minutes, some Cromwells have passed initial German positions. They attack from angles the Germans did not expect. Machine guns fire. Smoke chokes the air. The battlefield disorganizes. British Firefly tanks, Shermans armed with the powerful 17-pounder gun, arrive behind the Cromwells. While the Cromwells create chaos, Fireflies take careful positions, targeting Panthers from the sides and rear, where armor is weaker. The combination is lethal. Fisher realizes the ambush is unraveling. Repositioning the Panther is slow. Turning on uneven ground delays it further. Threats emerge from multiple directions. Orders fly. Traverse left, watch the flank. Yet the situation slips further. The Panther is powerful, but inflexible. In controlled situations at distance, with clear targets, it excels. Here, in fast-moving chaos, it struggles. Another problem looms: fuel. By early 1945, German units constantly face shortages. Panthers cannot move freely without careful planning. Every repositioning consumes precious fuel. The British, with better supply lines, keep moving. German positions collapse, not because Panthers are destroyed easily, but because they are overwhelmed. They cannot track every target. A Panther attempts to reverse and reposition. Its engine roars, but weight slows it. Before it aligns, a Firefly round strikes side armor. The tank erupts in flames. Another Panther rotates its turret, but a Cromwell appears suddenly from behind buildings, firing machine guns and forcing reaction under pressure. The realization hits. The Cromwells are not trying to outgun Panthers. They are outrunning them. Speed changes everything. British units cut communication lines, disrupt supply, force German crews to abandon positions. Speed becomes a weapon. Decisions, movements, everything happens faster. The Germans are always a step behind. By late afternoon, a strong defensive line is broken and scattered. Panther crews withdraw where possible. Some tanks are abandoned due to mechanical failure or fuel shortage. Oberleutnant Pfizer orders retreat. Staying means being surrounded. Surrounded means destruction. As his Panther pulls back, he surveys the battlefield one last time. Smoke rises from multiple points. British tanks keep moving, advancing. He finally understands. He underestimated them, not their guns, not their armor, but their speed. British crews end the day exhausted, relieved. They have lost tanks, lost men, but achieved something vital. They have shown that Cromwells, often underestimated, can dominate under the right conditions. Trooper Carter sits inside his tank, engine quiet. The battlefield is still, but his mind races. What they just did was not luck. It was doctrine, learned over years, trust in mobility. In the following days, reports reach German command. Officers warn units, do not underestimate British cruiser tanks. Do not assume predictable behavior. Adjust tactics. But adapting is difficult. The war nears its end. German forces are stretched thin, training inconsistent, supplies limited, morale shifting. On the British side, confidence grows. Cromwell crews refine tactics, coordinating closely with infantry, artillery, and other armored units. They learn when to push, when to pull back, when to strike, when to avoid direct engagement. This is not merely a story of tanks, it is a story of mindset. For years, the German army relied on strong armored vehicles and disciplined tactics. For a long time, it worked. By 1945, the battlefield has changed. Flexibility matters more, speed matters more, coordination matters more. The Cromwell embodies that change. Imperfect, yes, but in skilled hands, using the right tactics, it becomes more than its specifications. It becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability is deadly. You can almost stand in that cold, muddy field, listening to the echoes of engines that once roared across it. Confidence turns to confusion. Speed, raw and simple, becomes decisive. In war, sometimes it is not the strongest weapon that wins, but the one that moves first. Sometimes it is the one that moves fastest. The sound of engines fades, replaced by the low rumble of thought and anticipation. Trooper Carter sits inside his Cromwell, eyes scanning the horizon. The battlefield is quiet for now, but he knows it is only the calm before the storm. Orders flow through the radio. Advance, flank, keep moving. Every movement is precise. Every decision, a calculation of risk versus opportunity. The lessons of Normandy are etched into every crew member's mind. They know that to survive, to dominate, they cannot rely on armor alone. Speed and unpredictability are their weapons. The Germans, entrenched and confident, do not yet understand this change. Panthers wait at crossroads in villages, behind hedgerows, anticipating slow, cautious advances. They expect the British to engage predictably, but the Cromwells defy expectation. They split, veer, accelerate, using terrain to their advantage. They appear suddenly, firing machine guns to suppress, then vanish behind trees and ruins. The battlefield becomes a living puzzle, constantly shifting. The Panthers' precision, their heavy guns, their thick armor, these advantages falter against motion or against the doctrine of speed. Trooper Carter feels the tank lurch as it crosses a muddy field. His driver pushes the engine hard, the Cromwell responding with agility unmatched by any heavier tank. Smoke curls behind damaged vehicles, but the column does not hesitate. Orders are shouted, relayed, executed. Flanking movements, rapid advances, and sudden retreats keep the Germans off balance. Every attempt by a Panther to reposition is delayed by its weight, its slower turning speed, and the uneven terrain. Fireflies and Shermans now enter the fight. The Cromwells have created disorder, confusion, and openings. The heavier, more powerful tanks exploit these openings, firing at weaker side and rear armor. German units try to react, but they cannot cover all angles. A Panther rotates its turret, aiming at a moving Cromwell, but the British tank has already changed position. Another Firefly fires from an unexpected flank. Explosions ripple across the muddy ground. Chaos reigns, but it is controlled chaos for the British. Fuel constraints, mechanical issues, and the pressure of the fast-moving British units compound German difficulties. Positions crumble. Lines fracture. Communication falters. Oberleutnant Pfizer and other commanders realize the ambush is failing. Retreat is ordered where possible. Some tanks are abandoned. Others cannot escape. The British push relentlessly, cutting supply routes, disrupting coordination, forcing German units to react defensively rather than proactively. Trooper Carter, gripping the controls, understands the significance. This is not mere luck. It is doctrine in motion. Years of learning, adaptation, and trust in mobility converge in these moments. The battlefield itself becomes a test of flexibility versus rigidity, speed versus strength. The Cromwell's light armor is no longer a liability. Its speed is its shield. Its unpredictability, its sword. As the day progresses, German commanders report the failures up the chain. Adjustments are recommended. Warnings issued. Do not underestimate British cruiser tanks. Anticipate fast, unexpected maneuvers. Change deployment. But the forces are stretched, resources scarce, morale shaken. The war approaches its conclusion, and the old ways of armored warfare begin to falter against a new paradigm. The British crews, by contrast, grow confident. Each successful maneuver, each flanking action, reinforces their doctrine. Coordination with infantry, artillery, and heavier tanks becomes seamless. They know when to strike, when to avoid confrontation, when to exploit openings. Every engagement refines their tactics. The Cromwell, in the hands of experienced crews, becomes more than a tank. It becomes an instrument of controlled chaos, a vessel of doctrinal evolution. This is the essence of the Cromwell doctrine. It is not about head-to-head confrontation with heavier tanks. It is about movement, flexibility, and seizing the initiative. The battlefield rewards those who think faster, act faster, and embrace unpredictability. German reliance on armor and disciplined, predictable tactics, once supreme, now falters under this new approach. Trooper Carter's mind races as the engine hums beneath him. Every maneuver, every decision, every flanking action confirms what they have learned. The war may still be raging across Europe, but in these moments, speed has become the decisive factor. The Panther, a marvel of engineering and firepower, cannot keep up. It is strength versus motion, armor versus doctrine, and motion, here, wins. The battlefield stretches out, scarred and chaotic. Smoke rises from burning tanks, mud churns beneath relentless tracks, and the echoes of engines fill the cold air. Oberleutnant Pfizer watches as his carefully prepared ambush unravels. He had trusted the Panther's power, its thick frontal armor, its long-range gun. He believed his crew's discipline and training would dominate any advance. But the British Cromwells move too fast, too unpredictably. They are not engaging in the battle Pfizer expected. They are outrunning it. The Cromwell crews exploit every opening. They slip around villages, dart between hedgerows, and accelerate across open fields. Some fire while moving, not to destroy, but to disrupt, to force reaction. The battlefield becomes a living chessboard, constantly shifting under their control. Panther crews struggle to track targets, reload, and reposition. Every attempt to bring a Cromwell into their sights is thwarted by speed, by terrain, by unpredictability. Fuel constraints weigh heavily on the Germans. Every repositioning burns precious reserves. The British, supplied and coordinated, maintain momentum. Fireflies and Shermans follow, taking advantage of the chaos. Cromwells have drawn attention, disorganized German defenses, and now the heavier tanks strike from the flanks and rear, where Panther armor is weakest. Explosions light up the gray afternoon sky. German crews fire, maneuver, and retreat, but the pace is overwhelming. Decisions must happen in seconds, movements executed without hesitation. The Panthers' power is unmatched in isolation, but here, they are outmatched by operational speed. By late afternoon, the supposedly strong defensive line is fractured. Smoke and fire mark multiple points of British advance. Panther crews retreat where they can. Some tanks are abandoned due to mechanical failure, some trapped by fuel shortages. Oberleutnant Pfizer orders withdrawal. Staying means encirclement, and encirclement means destruction. As his Panther pulls back, he surveys the battlefield. The lesson is clear. He underestimated them. Not their guns, not their armor, but their speed. For the British, the day ends with exhaustion, with loss, but with accomplishment. Trooper Carter sits inside his tank, the engine finally quiet. He understands what has been proven. Cromwells, often underestimated for their armor and firepower, can dominate when mobility, doctrine, and unpredictability are applied together. Years of experience, months of fighting, and trust in speed have converged to create a tactical advantage. German command channels buzz with reports. Officers warn their units. Never assume British tanks will fight predictably. Adjust tactics, but adaptation is slow. The war is nearing its conclusion. German forces are stretched thin, supplies limited, morale shifting. Training inconsistencies and fuel shortages further compound the difficulty of rapid response. Meanwhile, British confidence grows. Cromwell crews refine maneuvers, coordinating with infantry, artillery, and heavier tanks. They learn the delicate balance of when to push, when to pull back, when to strike, when to avoid direct confrontation. This is not just a story of tanks, it is a story of mindset. For years, German armored doctrine prioritized strong vehicles, disciplined tactics, and predictable formations. That approach worked until speed, flexibility, and coordination became decisive. The Cromwell, light, fast, and maneuverable, represents this shift. Imperfect, yes, but in skilled hands, it becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability is one of the deadliest forces in war. On the frozen, muddy fields near the Dutch-German border, the echoes of engines fade, leaving behind the evidence of a new reality. Confidence turned into confusion. Speed, simple and raw, became the decisive factor. Sometimes in war, victory does not go to the strongest weapon. It goes to the one that moves first, and often to the one that moves faster.